I'm gonna get right to it.
Uncovering music by new and up-and-coming great artists.
And the Grammy goes to
The next big thing. This is Untouched Melodies.
Talk to him. Talk to him. Talk to him.
Well, hello. It is another Untouched Melodies, and I am so blessed tonight. I have someone I've been trying to get on this podcast for a little bit. Hannah Tramonte, welcome to the show. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm excited. I'm quite happy just to sit here and chat for a few hours, but we only have an hour, so we're gonna ease it up there. We're not going on here for a few hours. So welcome to the show. I'm really excited. Obviously, Hannah, you're a singer-songwriter, and you're so much more than that. But we're talking about your music, and
Yes.
we're talking about what inspires you. So let's get started. So the biggest question I always ask the artists that I have on here is, how did you really get started in music?
So I've always sang ever since I was little. I feel like that's like a really general answer, but I
But
remember,
it's okay. It's where a
yeah,
lot of people start.
it's always been a part of my life. I actually started though, playing sports. My parents were both crazy athletes, and so when I was younger, they put me in like softball, basketball, volleyball, all the sports. I played for like 10 years, all of them. And it wasn't until like elementary school I was like, "Mom, can I please audition for the musical?" And she's like, "Maybe next year." And it was like, she was like, "Hannah, you got too much on your plate." And I was like, "Okay." But I joined my church choir, and it was so fun. All the choir ladies were like, "You sit in the front row." And I was like, "Oh my gosh." And I started doing musicals, and it's like ever since then, it's just always been a part of me.
It's really interesting because that's something that we spoke about before we went live is
Hmm.
just your music kind of shows that you're kind of in two different worlds.
Hmm.
The way you write your music and everything, it tells a story, it has a theme. Not that normal singer-songwriters don't have a theme, but
Hmm.
it just feels very different. It's well put together. It has like a beginning, a middle, and an end, and you just kind of get the whole gist of your songs really quickly.
Hmm.
I normally do my top 5. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna listen to 5 of my favorite songs that you do that are released, and I'm gonna throw it in the ones that are kind of on Instagram, kind of reels as
Hmm.
well, just because you've got some stuff that isn't released quite yet, but you have given us a taster, and then we'll go from there. All right.
Yeah. Awesome.
Okay. So beginning at number 5, I would say that you're very religious, is that right?
Yes. Also, I want to preface that only 2 of the songs that are my Spotify catalog are mine. The rest have been jobs or like a competition I won that I got to do.
Okay, that's cool.
So Fighter and Good Enough are the only originals I have that
That's
are
great.
like out and released. I was just like
Not to give
letting
too
you
much
know.
away, not to give too much away, but
Yeah.
they're in the top 2, so that makes
Oh, that's good.
so that kind of ruins it for everyone, but doesn't
Ah!
at the same time. But hey, whatever. So number 5 for me is it's it's time. So the reason I say it's time is it's just a totally different vibe to you. Like everything that you've done after this is so very different. So I'm gonna play a little bit about It's Time, and then we can talk about where this all came from. Okay.
Okay.
But I can tell from your reaction, you're already like, oh man, not that one. All right, here we go.
It's
All right, so that's a minute. I cut it off at a minute. All right. So,
Yeah.
tell me a little bit about this. I'll tell you straight out of the gate. Initially, it sounds like. Have you been to Disneyland?
Yes.
Yeah,
Like that.
it's like you're. Oh my God, it's a parade. It's coming.
Yes,
Oh my
yes.
gosh,
I
here it
agree.
comes. Wait, what happened? Where's the parade? No, I'm joking.
No, I
It's
hear
got
it
a
too.
really happy vibe, and
Yeah.
that's why it's number 5. But I do I love it. It's got a really kind of got like a Disney parade, then an '80s vibe. So tell me where that came from.
So this was a job. This was someone I've worked for. I've done like singing competitions and I've worked for him. His name is Alan Bradley Licht. He's awesome. Super sweet. He's been super duper helpful within like getting me into the recording studio and giving me experience here. And he called me one day and was like, "Hey, I wrote this song and I'm looking for a female vocalist to record it. And I think you'd be perfect for it." And I said, "Okay, great. Whatever gets me into the recording studio, I'll do whatever you need." And also because it was a very high song too, he was like, "I think you'd be really great at it because like in terms of like legit singing, I'm a soprano." So, um that's where that one came from. So, I just kinda came into the studio and he was like, "All right, this is what I got. This is what you're singing." And I was like, "Okay, great." So, yeah,
Okay,
I mean,
all
it's
right.
so fun. I sometimes I like when I think about like the music I've created, I think of like the originals that I've written, obviously, just because those have come from me. But I always like forget about those, and then all of a sudden I hear them, and it just puts like a smile on my face. I'm like, it was just so fun. Like they're
So
just fu-
I think honestly, like just the vibe of the song, and now I understand why it's so different to everything else that you've done
yes,
because
yes.
it isn't yours. It's
Mhm.
someone else asking you to do this. So
Mhm.
that's really it's really cool, but it's also very different. And I
Yeah.
think it's good to kind of stretch the boundaries on
Mhm.
what you do and the genres that you're in and everything. And yeah, so that's number 5. So going back to what I said about your 2 originals, I forgot that we were including reels tonight, so it's actually they're not my top 2. So
Okay.
gonna break them all a little bit. So
Okay.
the next one is good enough. So
Okay.
number 4 is gonna be good enough now, and tell me a little bit about that song. So this is pretty early. It's looks like it's 2022.
Yeah.
Tell me about that song.
So this is the second original I ever released, and um it was a bit of a different vibe than the first one I went like and recorded and stuff. And this song I wrote as very much like a power anthem, especially for women, but for everyone. Like it you'll hear it in the lyrics. It talks a lot about like the double standards faced and like, oh, you're too much of this, but you're also too much of that, and you're too little of this, and you're too little of that, and just all the things that are like said. And it's just like taking back your control and your power over a situation like, "No, like, this is how I am, this is how I'm gonna be, and there's no problem with that." So,
Mm.
it's very much like a confidence, like, type of hype you up kinda.
It definitely is that. So we're gonna get to that in a second. And what do you think, like, as far as just when we get into the writing of your songs, where do you find your inspiration mostly?
I definitely find the majority of my inspiration from personal experience. I think that that's the experience you know best, so you can, like,
Mm-hmm.
get elaborate on it well. But also I find this like experience from those around me and those close to me, like family and friends. Like my mom and aunts and grandmas are all huge inspirations to me, as well as like my sisters and my all my female friends. And like just like, conversations you have and things you talk about, and you're like, you just see people going through these experiences, and it's like you feel and you understand and you want to be able to communicate like the the mindset behind those type of scenarios almost.
Right, right. I mean, to be honest, going into this, I will say that you speak with a lot of maturity, and you're only young. Like you're first year of college, but you speak with this amazing maturity of like you've had a broken heart and all this stuff, and it's just like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. But you've this next one, good enough, is just it's a really feel good song, but it also
Mhm.
kind of it's exactly what you say. So let's play a little bit of that, and we'll be right back.
to my home on the street at night. They say my hands in my phone and they might be right. I'm criticized for expressing just how I feel. So what if you don't get it? What I'm putting out is real. She looks too thin, needs to put on a few pounds. She looks too heavy, needs to put that snack down. Her clothes too loose, don't accentuate her form. Her clothes too tight, where the hell does she think she's going? I'm done hearing you're not good enough. The message sticks in my head. But please, I'm so done overacting like I care about what you say. Oh, 'cause all I know is that I'm good enough for me at the end of the day. When a woman cries, she's too emotional. But when she's strong, she's too confrontational. She's too quiet, needs to get her thoughts out. She's too bossy, needs to sit her ass down. I speak my mind and I'm not afraid to speak up. Put me down as I'm the best that you could think of. I'm criticized for expressing just how I feel. So what if you don't get it? What I'm putting out is real. I'm done hearing you're not.
So I really wanted to get those lyrics in there just
Yeah.
because you're not wrong. I mean,
Mhm.
all of that stuff is real to
Mhm.
life. And it's just a really good song. It's a really good track.
Thanks.
But you're kind of touching on some stuff that is a little bit controversial if
Mhm.
we're being honest.
Yeah.
Just because not a lot of people are very supportive of the topic.
Mhm.
Now we're not going to call them out or anything, but it's like what you talk about in this song is that there's a double standard. It's like
Mhm.
I'm either too confrontational or I'm too wimpy,
Mhm.
basically. So
Yeah.
it's like, what do you think? What do you think kind of drives you in your kind of journey right now? Because
Mhm.
you're a young female artist. Do you experience this kind of stuff where you're not taken seriously?
I've definitely had some interactions with people, especially I like do a lot of private gigs and I work locally as like a singer. I do like long jazz sets
Mm.
for like private parties or events, and I've definitely had a few experiences where I will walk into the room and people will automatically be like talk to me a certain way because I am young and I am a girl, and the vibe switch, I think it's more of the young thing, especially in this business, because a lot of people who do what I do, at least locally, tend to be, older musicians who are
Right, right.
just kinda doing it for fun. But, it's interesting the vibe switch that happens once I am, like, either done with, like, my first set or just done with the gig in general when they're like, "Oh, she actually knows what she's doing." And it's, like, understandable to be like, "Oh, this, like, teenager is, like, just walking in, like," and you're like, "What is going on?" But it's like, I truly have years of experience doing this, and I'm like, it's just very hard to be in a situation where you're just, like, automatically judged for and, like, just there's preconceived notions of what you're like, but that's not how it is.
So you've done a lot to kind of get to where you are and get
Mhm,
noticed. One of the things that you did, which we're going to touch on right now, is go to like games, like big national games,
mhm.
and um, basically sing or do a national anthem. The one we're going to do now is you were at the Cleveland Browns singing the national anthem. That's huge. That's
That was
NFL,
so
dude. Like,
fun.
what the heck?
That one was so fun.
NFL? What? So, hold on. I hate Instagram. Just sorry, Instagram, but I do. It's one of those things that I hate. All right, we're gonna do this right now.
Performed today by Baldwin Wallace University student Hannah Tramonte.
Very supportive people with you there.
Yes. Mhm.
What so proudly we hailed, heaven's twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight
Just how cool is that? Like honestly, you're in a stadium, it's packed. This is probably the biggest audience you've ever performed for.
For sure.
Like how does that feel? Like to get that validation, number one, that I mean, you get singers out doing the national anthem, but
Hmm.
just to have that validation, to have everyone just like truly appreciate the art of what you just did.
Hmm. It's crazy. It was a weird feeling, especially because, like, I think it was the week or two before, Taylor Swift's guitarist was the one doing the national anthem, and I was like, I'm doing it.
Wow.
Like, it was just crazy. And I don't know if you heard in the video or noticed, like, about halfway through, I had to speed up
Yeah, no, I was
because,
gonna ask you about that because it's like, oh crap, we gotta go.
yeah.
But
So,
it didn't. You still very professional. Things
yeah.
happen. You know, you're doing it at your pace, and then oh, wait a minute, we're gonna have planes flying over. I gotta do this
Yes.
at the right moment.
Yeah, they had me practicing timing it to exactly 1 minute and 30 seconds, and after I went back and watched the video, I was at 1 minute and 30 seconds. The Jets were actually early, which is like, that's gotta be a crazy thing to time. So, like, no harm, no
Yeah,
foul.
yeah, for
But
sure.
there was a lady standing in front of me, and she had like a headset on, and she could have like she like knew somehow where they were. I don't know how air traffic control works. I don't know how they
Yeah, yeah.
communicated to her, but she was looking at me as I'm singing, going like this. She's like, pick up the pace, girl. And I'm like, it was crazy.
Well,
I
well done. I mean,
definitely,
it's what an
yeah,
experience. Like,
it was crazy. It was
an
so fun.
amazing experience. You know, you've got so many things that you've done in your I suppose your career, I guess you could call it. One of the things that I do love is we didn't talk about doing this one, but I'm going to do it anyway. You do some
Oh,
production, which
yeah.
is very very skilled, but I'm not going to keep talking because it ruins it all.
He left a man in New York City. She broke a home in New Orleans. They made their way to California. Sweet dreams, children, sweet dreams. They hit it off in a Greyhound station where she kicked a cigarette in a tree. Broke him apart from his knapsack. Broke him apart from his sweet dreams.
So, what do you think is, and this is kind of putting you on the spot a little bit, but what's your favorite way of performing? Because to me, I'm going to make people go and watch this on your Instagram because it's important for them. I'm not going to ruin it and everything. But, you know, for me, you're just so comfortable at both. Like,
Hmm.
I sent you this message when I watched one of the reels that you were doing earlier, and there's a moment almost in every time that you're doing a reel that you're singing, and
Hmm.
it's toward the end, and you have this kind of a grin that it's like yeah, I nailed that. That was brilliant. Yes. But it just it's a warmth about it. And then when I'm watching this, you're very composed, you're very together, you're very
Hmm.
comfortable. Like
Hmm.
on stage, it feels like you're just at home. Like where do you
Hmm.
get that from? Where's that coming from?
I think, this is a tough question. I think being on stage is very comfortable for me because I started at a young age doing like musical theater. And
Mm,
so performing in front of people has never been like something I'm necessarily afraid of,
mm.
especially because my family, especially my lovely grandparents, will make me sing for them like whenever they want. So I have no short of experience singing just wherever in random public places.
Right.
But I don't know. I think I really did enjoy musical theater when I was very involved with it. I haven't done a production since like November of 2022, I think. But I think being on stage and performing as just like a solo performer and as yourself is a lot more vulnerable because you're not representing a character.
Right.
You're not pretending to be someone else.
They're
So I
your words
think
versus their words. Yeah.
exactly. And I think that have started to become more comfortable when I'm just being myself because I don't try and have to fit the mold of whoever I'm portraying.
Mhm.
But I think that the practice as being a character per se has definitely helped me develop my own in a
Mhm.
sense. And like in a way that allows me to properly like demonstrate it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, it does 100%. This next topic is a little bit different because of the
Mhm.
song that I'm going to play next. Um, being in the music industry, being any kind of performing artist is
Mhm.
takes a lot of mental strength as
Mhm.
well. It takes a lot out of you. There's a lot of things that happen that you get a lot of no's, a lot of doors
Yes.
closed, and all that kind of stuff.
Yes.
Do you find that? One second, we just got a comment. Blake, my gosh, thanks for tuning in, my friend.
Thank
Just listened
you.
to her song; it was great. Blake, thanks for that. I really appreciate it. It's you just it's this crazy world where you're just
Mhm.
constantly. It's hard to. Thanks, Blake. That's awesome. You're see, look at this.
Ha!
I'm not just speaking words. This is truth. This is all truth.
Thanks.
Um, and I didn't pay him to say that either.
Thanks.
So the getting back to the mental health side of this,
Mhm.
it's really hard to take a no. Do you
Mhm.
find that this has ever been testing for you?
It definitely has. Um, growing up doing musical theater, I was also like a huge singing competition kid, and um, that was rough, honestly. Like it's a lot of literally what you do is you like depending on how the competition is formatted, you go in, you sing, and they are writing notes on a paper in front of you telling you what to improve on. And it takes a really big mindset shift to be thinking they're writing what to improve on rather than what you did wrong.
Mm,
And I think it's also really hard to be up there and be like competing and working so hard for something and like you don't win. Like that's just how the world works. Like you're not going to
yeah,
win
for
everything
sure,
and
for sure.
you're not going to be the best every single time. And like I've been fortunate enough to have some instances where I've like won some things or made it really far, but it's a really hard mental toll, especially when you start making it really far and get knocked down when you're high up. I think that's probably the hardest
Mm.
instance I've had with no's in the industry is
And
like
have you ever been in a place where you're like, maybe I need to take a back seat and stop?
I think I definitely got to the place where like I needed to stop doing singing competitions. Like I
Mm.
really got into them um during the pandemic because there was a lot of ones I could do online and obviously I had really not much else to do during that time,
Right,
so it was
right,
a
right.
great thing to do. But I think after a while, I was like, it's not worth the mental toll it's taking on me sometimes. And of course, I still did them. But
Yeah.
there were some times where I was like, maybe it's not worth it. Like, maybe you need to chill out. But
I mean, I don't know. I don't know what it is for anyone else, but for me, like just listening to your music, there's no fear that you're not good enough. You're
thanks.
well above that. But I think to your point, when you hear it so many times, it's hard to kind of
Hmm.
switch that off.
Yeah.
So this next track is number 3 in Phil's top 5, as I like to call it, and it is actually one that I reached out to you because I suffer from depression myself. I
Hmm.
go through some stages where I'm not the greatest.
Hmm.
Thankfully, I do go to therapy and I do some stuff to help my mental health, which I
Hmm.
recommend to anybody. But this song in particular really kind of resonated with me, and it just really hits, and it's something that
Hmm.
it's like one of those songs where you're watching a movie and all it needs is that little like oomph to get you into that mindset, and then you hear
Hmm.
this and you're just, oh my gosh, this too much. And so this is that song for me. I just feel like it just hits every note. Every chord, everything's just perfect about it. And that song is called Fighter. So I'm going to play that right now.
Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words have hurt me too. I tell myself I'm not enough, convinced it must be true. These negative thoughts inside my head come again and again. I've been lost so many times, I don't know where to begin. But hold on, keep your head up, don't stop fighting even when things get rough. You can be strong, gotta stay strong. You're a fighter, keep your head held high, don't stop shooting till you've reached the sky. You're a fighter, you were born to be strong, just stand proud and sing your own song. You're a fighter, it's your time, know you've still got mountains to climb.
So, yeah, I mean, I'm not even doing anything right now. I'm just sitting here just clicking comments. It speaks for itself. Blake, thank you so much for your comments and for watching. And Adam, thank you for tuning in.
Thank you, Adam.
Fighter is like just amazing. It's just an amazing song.
Thank
like,
you.
Where does that come from? Because honestly, your singing is incredible, but your songwriting is, and we're gonna get to the top two. And if you guys like Fighter, these next two, which are just reels that are on Instagram, not been released yet, are gonna blow you away. Just where does this writing come from? You say that you come from life experience, but my gosh, the lyrical content is unbelievable.
Thank you. I wrote this one honestly when I was pretty young. It was a few years ago, and just from not feeling the greatest, like there are times when you get really down, and I kind of think I don't remember the exact moment the song was written about. Actually, I'm trying to wrap my head around it because it was a while ago. But like that opening line, it's like words have hurt me too. I tell myself I'm not enough. Like that's something I think I struggle with the most is the self-criticism. I'm very hard on myself. I'm very much a perfectionist. And sometimes it can get too much. Sometimes I am like really trying to get like everything perfect and it takes a step too far and I'm like, stop, you need to settle down. Like it's
Yeah.
okay. And I think this song serves as a good reminder of like you're where you're supposed to be, like just be yourself and be content with that because that's all you need to be. And I think that this song I wrote it as a reminder to myself like of how I need to think and how I need to regard situations of distress almost.
Right. Wow. Blake, it's okay. We forgive you for not being here from the beginning, and you can answer that question.
I'm based in Ohio. I'm based in Northeast Ohio, so
There you go.
but I'll be
So,
traveling down to Nashville in June, everybody.
being so young, I would hate to ask so much of you that you would come to the Pacific Northwest, but it's hard not for me to.
Huh.
You work with I think you work with Paula occasionally. She
Yeah.
does a little bit of promotional stuff for you. Is that right?
Yes. She works with Alexis. I'm not sure exactly what their relationship is. I don't want to like say manager or anything because I don't want to misspeak. I don't think moving on. But so Alexis reached out to me and some other singers and was like, "Hey, would you like to the Ablaze Entertainment is looking for more people to take down to Nashville for CMA Fest." And so
Yeah.
that's how I ended up working with them is through Alexis.
Thank
Thank
Blake.
you.
That's awesome. So you say Alexis. People don't know who Alexis
Oh,
is. So
yeah.
Alexis was a guest on this show not so long ago. If you're watching this, please don't tune away just to find that out. It is on YouTube to watch back again on my YouTube channel. Alexis is just amazing. She's another singer. Marrero is her last name. So if you wanted to look that up, she's lighting it up right now. And Paula,
Yes.
who we keep talking about, is a publicist slash kind of manager type person in the industry. It used to be that you would be like, oh, they're my manager. No, they're your support group is what I like to call it now. So yeah, the Blaze Entertainment is just amazing. They're
Yeah.
amazing people. They work with great artists. You're one of them.
Thank you.
Ashlyn is another one that was a guest on my show as well.
Mhm.
So yeah, just being able to go to Nashville, where
Yes.
music is just it's like the Disneyland of music, is just an amazing thing to do. So well done to you.
Thank you.
So moving into this next thing, which would be number 2. Yes, number 2. So this is a reel, and the song that if I can pick the right one, because you don't title your reels, you make it very
I'm
difficult.
sorry.
Um,
It'll be in the caption. It won't be on the cover.
Yeah, I know. Oh, here we go. Yeah, you did title it. It's on the front.
Oh, beautiful.
So this one is called Dust Bunnies. I adore this song.
Thank you.
Where does this come from? Tell me a little bit about it.
I was brainstorming titles one day, and I don't know why this one came to my mind. I just thought it was like kind of cute. And I was like, I elaborated on what it could mean. And then I started thinking of like, this song is about old friendships. And especially moving into college, you have some friendships that have like faded with time just because time or space has not allowed for you to like keep the relationship. And like distance is natural and it's a real thing. And I think that there's like some hidden like memorial value on friendships that you've had and like are no longer connected with. Like it's a sad thing. It's like, oh, I used to be so
Yeah, no,
close
I
and
feel it.
like
Yeah,
we've
100%.
drifted, but it's a natural human thing to drift, especially with those that are maybe on like a different path or like you know, time and things change. So I think it was just kind of reflective and reminiscent of people who have been important to me in my past and kind of elaborating also on the idea of that version of you is kind of how they remember you. And even if that version is not necessarily alive within like your world anymore within yourself, it's very much alive in their memory. And I think that's a really cool concept of like it's almost like a time box. What are those called?
I think they're called time boxes.
Like a time box? I don't
If they're
know.
not, if they're not called time boxes, they are now because
They
I
are
just,
now. That's what they are.
yeah, I believe whatever you say. So, so we're gonna play this reel. It's a, it is just so for those who don't know, your Instagram, it is Hannah Tramonte official.
Oh wait, it's
Yeah, it's on
inverted.
there.
I'm like
It's on
trying
there.
to
It's on
point
there.
to it.
Yeah,
It's
there
right
you go.
there.
Yeah, good job. Good job. Hannah Tramonte official. Definitely look it up because the reels are crazy. And you do like covers and stuff,
Yeah.
and it's insane. It's really really amazing. But Dust Bunnies is my favorite, so I'm one of my
Thanks.
favorites. So I'm gonna do
Yeah.
this right
You should
now.
definitely follow because I'm really trying to grow my platform.
Yes, definitely go and do that 100%. But we're gonna listen to this now. If I can get it to play, good
I think I
lord.
talk a little bit in the intro, just trying if I
There we go.
remember right. Yeah. It's called Dust Bunnies. I hope you like it.
Isn't it funny how someone can know ya? Isn't it strange what you let them see? A chest, but the lock is broken. It don't matter, 'cause they have the key. Isn't it funny the way the wind changed? How it picked up and swept us apart. I'm fond of the memories back in the old days when you knew even if I never see you again. Old Polaroids, they'll fade with time, but still your image will always shine, even if I never see you again. The dust bunnies remind me of a time when we were friends. I can't bring myself to sweep them away. Here's a song.
Wow. Like Hannah, I mean this like Blake, you're 1,000,000% correct. Like this I have a lot of artists on here, and I bring people on here mainly because there is so much great music out there that is
Mhm.
not being like it's not like broadcast, it's not on the radio, it's not on
Mhm.
the billboard, and there's great artists trying to make it. And I encourage people to go through their local newspaper or their local forums and find their local artists and go and support them, because find somebody you like. It doesn't have to be like
Mhm.
you don't have to go and support everybody, but find somebody you like, because truly, like, you're incredible. Like, this
Thank
song is
you.
just the whole concept of the song is amazing to me, because
Thanks.
dust bunnies sound so like so friendly, and oh yeah, dust bunnies, but wait a minute, hold on, dust bunnies. Oh my gosh, he's talking about not seeing your friends. You're talking about
Mhm.
how no matter what happens, no matter the distance, you still have that connection,
Mhm.
even if you never see each other again. And
Mhm.
so for me, I moved from Ireland to America, and
Mhm.
I've done that twice, and like I have amazing friends back there. And we connect through social media. Social
Mhm.
media is like internet, and everything is so different.
Mhm.
It's changed everybody's lives
Mhm.
really, because you can do FaceTime and all that kind of stuff. But just being connected, that this just speaks to that whole relationship where you
Mhm.
grow apart. You don't grow apart. You grow as people, and it takes you different directions,
Mhm.
physically and mentally, but you still have that connection to that person, because you have this anchor of growing up with them, or going through experiences with them, which is just, it's so deep but so meaningful. And your
Mhm.
voice, oh my god, Hannah,
Thank you.
seriously, unbelievable. And I could literally sit here going through your reels all night long, because they're like, even the covers are just insane.
Thanks.
So Dust Bunnies is just this, like, just crazy concept, but
Mhm.
it's so true, because you life happens and you move on.
Mhm.
Um, Getting into the more musical side of your existence, um, what what artists do you follow the most, and who do you like really draw inspiration from? Because
Um.
you seem so, it seems so original, but it's like you draw something from somewhere. I'm just like, does your family have musical
Ah.
background, or what is it?
My family has no musical background at all.
Wow.
There's not a single person in my family. My sister sings, but like, yeah, no one in my family sings besides my sister. And so growing up, it was like I was kind of like the odd one out. Like I said, I was always put in sports because like that's what my family like was like familiar with, and was comfortable with. And so it was always like kind of figure it out on your own type of, and my mom and my family have been so wonderful in helping me navigate this industry. She's taken the momager role, as some may say, but it's been interesting trying to figure it out without prior knowledge of anything music at all, to be honest with you. So
They
yeah.
I mean, they're doing a great job so
Yes.
far. All I'm gonna say is they're gonna
Shout out
do a
mom and dad. Thank
shout out
you.
to mom and dad.
Thank
Awesome,
you.
awesome work.
Good
I don't.
luck in your marathon tomorrow.
Yeah, they're asleep, sleeping everything off. Brooke, thank you so much for tuning in.
Thank you.
Brooke is another podcaster as well, but she's also a massive music fan. So
Awesome.
thank you, Brooke. So this next one is number one. Now,
Huh.
it doesn't mean we're going to stop listening to reels, everyone. Don't get
Okay,
panicky.
okay.
However, this next song, by far lyrically, is the pinnacle of what you've done so far.
Really?
It
Thank you.
is.
This was I know which one you're talking about because it was. I'm pretty sure this one was written like maybe less than a week ago.
Okay, before we get into that, Brooke, thank you for being the first person to ask a question. Well, second person to ask a question because Blake has been really into it as well. Who a few of your favorite artists?
Okay. I have a really random wide variety of music taste. Um, I love to listen to jazz. I love to listen to pop. I am like Sabrina Carpenter. I love that woman with all my heart. I love Sabrina Carpenter so much. But I'm also like a huge like Etta James, Nat King Cole,
Oh,
kind of like Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin fan. Like I sing a ton of their music when I do my jazz gigs. I'm also a big fan of like not like smaller artists, but I try and listen a lot to people I've worked with and people I know. So obviously, big fan of Judalyn and Alexis, and Remy Wolf. I love her. My sister is like, I don't know why she's like makes fun of me sometimes. She's like, "Girl, you're too invested," and I'm like, "Please come to her concert with me." But I love Noah Khan. I love Chappell Roan. I love Taylor Swift is a good lyricist. I do honestly like Taylor Swift. I know sometimes that's
that's
like
fair.
a
No, it's
controversial
okay. Yeah,
opinion.
you can't knock her. I mean,
Yeah,
she
she's great.
wins. She wins at music. Like
Yeah,
she's everywhere, even when she doesn't want to be. She's just going to a
yeah,
football game and
right.
she wins. So okay, we
Yeah,
get that. But I love that you're into other unknown, I guess, artists that
yeah,
are kind of just off the beaten track a little bit because it just
yeah.
shows your uniqueness and your ability to find that like just jewel among
Mhm.
the vast sea of streaming platforms that seem to be out there right now.
Yeah.
Stacy is
Oh, that's
who?
my mom. Mom, you should be
Mom's
sleeping.
awake. Oh my
Mom, you
gosh.
have
Love
a
you,
half
mom.
marathon tomorrow. You
She's
need
like,
to...
nah, I backed out of that. I backed out of that a while ago.
Thanks, Mom.
She's
Nah,
like, I got
her
up
bib
and I
was
was
on the
like, I'm
counter.
done.
Her number was ready.
Way to go.
Thanks,
Awesome. Look
Mom.
at that. She's running 2 marathons now. Look at that.
Ha ha!
She's got the no sleep marathon and she has to run an actual marathon. That's tough going.
Pretty much. She's doing great.
But you forget that moms have done this no sleep thing before because,
Yeah.
so um okay, we're getting back to this song. I
Yes.
keep
Yes.
digressing away from this amazing song that
The
we
lead
could
up is crazy.
yeah, I'm the worst at that. I would be a terrible hype man, I've noticed. It's just not my forte at all.
It's okay. I get sidetracked so easily. I need to like hone
And I'm
in.
also fighting with this lovely never mind, I got it now. Good lord.
Ah.
Okay, here we go. So we're gonna play No Strings Attached. Phil's number one. Here we go. Okay, maybe not.
Oh my goodness.
Gosh. Okay, we're gonna do it again. Here we go. No, I'm not doing. That's not doing it justice. I'm gonna start it from the beginning. 1 second.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Ah,
Forgive me, everyone. Here we
it's
go.
okay.
Here we go.
I wrote a song about you once, how I can live without your touch. Well, I'm living and I'm fine. I wrote a song about you once, how you were mine, and that's enough. Well, thank God I've changed my mind. And I don't hate that I hate you. Close my eyes and separate you from my future to my past. And I don't mind that I can't change it, but guess what? My heart's not breaking. Cut off no strings attached.
Wow. Like Hannah, you told me before we started, you're just like, oh yeah, I came up with that like a couple days ago. I'm like, are you kidding me? This song is incredible. Like,
Thanks.
it's just nuts how you just like, oh yeah, I just came up with that like, I was eating Fruit Loops and I thought, oh wow, Like you're just so blasé about how amazing you are.
Thanks. I appreciate it.
It's just like the voice. I'm gonna replay it again because it's
Okay.
this is why I hate reels, because I'll sit there just replaying it over and over until I
No, I
like,
do that too. Sometimes I'll like get up and leave my phone and it'll still be
yeah,
playing.
yeah. Here we go. Here we go.
I wrote a song about you once, how I can live without your touch. Well, I'm living and I'm fine. I wrote a song about you once, how you were mine, and that's enough. Well, thank God I've changed my mind. And I don't hate that I hate you. Close my eyes and separate you from my future to my past. And I don't mind that I can't change it, but guess what? My heart's not breaking. Cut off, no strings attached.
Like seriously, I want to know where this comes from, because mom like has been outed as not musically inclined or musically talented. Sorry, mom. But like, where is this coming from? Like, I've asked you twice now, and it feels like the answer just doesn't fit. It's like, how are you this amazing at writing music?
Thank you. Um, I've always really been really great at like English and stuff. I don't know. I took like AP Lit and AP Lang in high school,
That makes sense.
and I'm always been like really great at like writing essays and stuff. And I've always been that one weird kid that's like really too excited for the poetry unit. Like I was always like really
That's me all
excited for
day. Yeah.
when that like unit came along in English, and I'm like I was just so excited because I think that like if you look at it from a poetic example, like a like poetic perspective, and like really try and like think metaphorically and not literally, I think you get a much more unique lyric, and you get more of a feeling than if you were just to say the words flat out. I think you have to almost find like a roundabout way to say things to where like it drives the actual feeling you get associated with the scenario. You can't just say like I cried. You have to say something like I don't know, like I don't know. I can't think of like a
Yeah. No.
comparison on the
No.
spot, but
I
you
get
can't
that.
just like be. You can be blunt, but you have to have something accompanying your thoughts and your perspective to really
Yeah.
make sure they know how you feel.
I think your lyrical dexterity when it comes to just explaining how you're feeling, like
Mhm.
conveying your emotions, is incredible. I think
Thanks.
just getting that message across is just, again, like, guys, she's 19 years of age. You write songs like you've lived a life, like you've already done this. It's just incredible. So just keep going down this path. You're incredible. So
Thanks.
I'm gonna do another one. So this is one that you did. Um, it is another original if I can find it again. Jesus. Anyone who wants to teach me how to use Instagram, I'm available most days of the week. I feel like I've lost the battle already with Instagram. It just doesn't work. Um, where are we? Yeah, Gravity.
Oh, I like this one.
So Gravity is another one of yours, and I'm just like, wow, like, and you're just so nonchalant. Hey, I'm just playing a piano. Hey, everyone. Hi, I just want to knock this out and get this on the gram really quickly. So yeah, it's just incredible. Here we go.
The moon revolves around the earth. The earth revolves around the sun. The stars right above, shining proudly with love, don't shine near as bright as you do in my heart.
I mean, I enjoy watching these reels amazingly enough. I could sit here doing this. I've said this a couple of times. But one thing I've noticed is the high notes that you hit are just what, like, you just have this amazing effortless way. Like I can't explain it.
Thanks.
I don't promote often to go on TV talent shows, but I feel like
Ah,
this is, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what else to say other than that, really, because you just, it's the fastest path to the most amount of audience. I don't know.
yeah, no, that's
You're
true.
you're just incredible. Like when you
Thanks.
hit those high notes, and when I'm watching you on these reels, and please, people, do go on her Instagram. It is worth it. She has some amazingly funny reels as well. Um, the one about you trying to be social using social media and you're in the car.
Oh
Oh
yeah.
my gosh,
That one did really well too. I was like,
it's
that's
just
so
too
awkward.
funny. It's just like, yeah, I'm gonna try. No, I can't do it. Click. It's just so funny. But like those high notes, just watching you in your zone, like just singing. I'm sure your mom, if she's still awake, would testify to this as well. When you're in your zone, it's just amazing to watch. It's just
Thanks.
incredible. So, if you could choose one artist, I suppose, I guess, one artist that any, alive or dead, it doesn't matter. If you could collaborate or do something with
Oh,
them, who would it be, and
alive or dead
why?
really raises the stakes.
I mean, it does. You could go dead and alive if you want to make it easier on yourself, but it's completely up to you.
I think I would have loved to collaborate with Frank Sinatra. I think that he just has a beautiful way of like singing and like communicating simplicity almost.
Yeah.
Like some of his songs are just very like a lot of what you see in jazz is like there's it's not like the typical verse chorus bridge chorus structure. It's a lot of like you have like the same thing and you kind of you almost repeat like the same thing over again a lot. And I think that just the way that he's able to communicate such beautiful words, like I don't know, he just has such a poetic ease about him,
Yeah.
and just like he's natural, and it's like what he was born to do. And I think being able to work with someone of that caliber would be like, I mean, he's Frank Sinatra, like that's the most insane thing in the world. Alive, Sabrina Carpenter. I love Sabrina Carpenter. I think that she just has like a very like girly feminine energy, but she just seems like she would be so just wonderful to talk to in general. And I think
Yeah.
that like learning from her, especially because she's had a huge rise lately, like she's really come up, and ever since opening for the Eras tour, I think that was really when it started. But
Right.
I have followed her much longer than that. I would just like to say, like, I have been a Sabrina Carpenter fan for a while now, and I'm so glad she's getting the recognition that she deserves. But I think just like being able to work with her and talk to her would be wonderful. And I don't know, I just really love her music.
As far as hold on, I have to do this because you're a fan, so why not, right?
Ah,
There you go. Well,
I
you know
sing.
what? We'll just leave it there. We'll just
Yeah,
leave it right there.
this is
How
on
about
my
that?
set list when I do jazz gigs.
Oh, it's perfect.
Wandering the night. So good.
So, tell me a little bit about, if you could. So you already play guitar, you play
Yes.
piano.
Yeah.
What other instruments would interest you? What do you?
Ooh. The cello is cool. I think the
Okay.
cello would be so fun. I would love to get better at guitar and piano. I can read music when it comes to terms of like vocal music, but there's just something about piano music that doesn't just like translate to my head. I don't know if it's like I have to read both hands at once and that just flips me up. It takes me a while, but I'm really great at doing like chords and improvising, like, but I would love to be able to like play piano like a true pianist.
So, being the amazing artist that you are, and you are amazing an amazing artist. I say that very strongly and
Thanks.
vehemently because I do believe this. One of the things that I always ask as well is, because you're in the production of everything that you do,
Mhm.
who would you love to work with as a producer? Have you thought
Oh,
about that?
I have not actually. I've not. I think Jack Antonoff would be a great person to work with. He produces a lot for Taylor Swift. He just I mean, to be fair, I don't know a ton of producers necessarily by name. I've worked with
Mm-hmm.
some lovely local ones that have done great work for me and for other people, and they've all been wonderful. But Jack Antonoff seems to have a really great energy and contributes a lot to the piece itself, outside of even production. Like, he seems to have a lot of influence on like the feel and the musicality and even some of the lyricism. I think he's a co-writer some of the time. So I think having someone who is willing to invest in the creative process would be really wonderful, rather than just like, okay, well, this is what you said, so I'll do it. Like, I think I've been so lucky to work with some wonderful producers. I've done stuff at Lava Room, and Chris over at Lava Room, I don't think he's there anymore, but he was always a really great producer, and he always was like, no, do this take again, but do it with more of this in your voice, or no, do this take again, and I think it would sound cool if you backed off here or added in here, or I think we should change the acoustic out for an electric and it would have a better sound and make more sense. And I think that having someone that is like creatively invested is really, really important.
I was just about to ask you that question because you write amazing music. There's no question. But
Thanks.
um, do you think it's as important to have somebody behind you that is that way inclined, that can go, hey, you know what? If you did this, it would sound even better.
Yes,
Because
100%.
you're if you were to critique yourself, I have Tanner Sutherland on here quite recently,
Hmm.
and he goes on Instagram and he's like, hey, I'm gonna write a song, everybody, and it's an amazing way. I applaud his efforts, but
Hmm.
I find that even he is self-critiquing himself almost into
Yeah.
oblivion, where it's like, I need to fix this, I need to fix this, I need to fix
Hmm.
this. And as an artist, it's almost it's self-deprecating of him or any
Hmm.
artist to sit there and go consistently trying to change it because you don't think it's good enough. When in
Hmm.
reality, the first iteration might be amazing.
Hmm.
Um, so I guess you've already answered the question, but that's
Yeah.
exactly what I was getting at, is that, like, having someone beside you, for any artist that's out there, it doesn't have to be a producer, but somebody
Hmm.
else that'll sit there, that maybe not a family member, somebody that's
Hmm.
kind of outside of the circle, that'll go, hey,
Hmm.
actually, that's pretty amazing. And I guess that's what Instagram provides
Yeah.
in some areas. But
Yeah. No, my mom has been very, very helpful in that aspect, because she jokes that she's like my normal person ear to test on, like someone who is not musical.
normal.
She's like we have our own vocabulary for everything now too. Like, it helped a lot during singing competitions when I would have to film videos and stuff. But she'll be like, no, Hannah, like this doesn't make sense. Like, you have to do something different here. And she'll sometimes, it's kind of hard to like communicate what needs to change or like how it needs to change, but she's a very helpful listening ear. My sister, the other day, I pulled her into the room, and your favorite song, No Strings Attached, I was like, hey, can you listen to these 2 songs that I'm writing? There's another one I wrote that day too that I have not posted. But I was like, can you like just tell me what you think? And she's like, that was her favorite one out of the 2 I played for her. She thought it was really, really great. And she liked all like the little flips I did with my voice. That was her fave. And then, I don't know, I have some wonderful friends that are always willing to give feedback. My friend Bailey, who I talked to you before about, before we were live, she is an English major, and so she really has some really good advice when it comes to like how I write and when I write,
Sure.
and like how to change things and how to make slight tweaks to make it more meaningful. And I think just having people like that is very helpful, because it's almost like when you're solving a puzzle, like you have to look at it from a different angle to like maybe see where a different piece
Mm-hmm.
fits, or where you may have went wrong, maybe not wrong, but like where a different direction could be more beneficial to what you're trying to do. And I think it's
Right.
important to have one, if not more, perspectives looking in and being like, hey, especially if it's a song you're like really serious about and looking to produce too.
Right. I did stand-up comedy for 7 years, and one of the things that a pretty amazing comedian told me to kind of fill my head with knowledge because he was so successful, is that whatever you're creating, the idea, if you picture it like a car, and so if it's a car, what you need to do is you need to get in the car, you need to look around the car, you need to see
Yeah.
every aspect of the car and understand what it is and drive that car. And I'm like, damn, that is the weirdest analogy, but I love it. It's just
Yeah,
like,
no, it makes sense.
so your idea is like you kind of touch the surface, and then your friend is coming and going, hey, what about this angle? Like,
Right.
what about
Exactly.
the rear view mirror?
Yeah. Like, hey, you did not check the rear view mirror before you backed up. Like,
You
girl, you gotta
didn't.
get.
You backed that car out and you just smashed right into this other.
Yeah.
No, that's now I'm just talking about silly things.
Huh.
So we have hit the hour, and I'm very
Yes.
conscious of the fact that your time zone is not friendly.
Ah,
for
yeah, that's
this.
okay.
What I want to encourage people to do is definitely go and listen to more of your music. Your website has been updated. It looks
Yes.
phenomenal. Well
Thank
done.
you.
I
Said
wish
that
I
a
could say
few
the
days
same.
ago.
I have some things that I have to do to mine that are so far removed from what I need to be doing. But anyway, yeah, there's a lot of things happening right now, and so we're this Unscripted Productions is now the production house of all my creations, I suppose, as far as podcasts. So it's I'm now having to make a website that's more kind of aligned with that. So that's what I'm working on. But well done to you.
Nice.
Website's amazing.
Thanks.
It's www.hannahtramonte.com. Definitely go check that out. It has all the links for social media and everything else that's on there, like concerts that are coming up, if there is any, and everything else. It looks really amazing. I don't know who you got to do it, but
Thanks.
well done.
Thanks. I did it myself through Wix.com.
Wix.com. So
Wix.com.
no excuse to me is what you're saying. Got it. All right. Message received, Hannah. Thank you.
It was the most user-friendly out of all of the ones I found. I won't lie. This is not an ad, I
found
promise.
a few, and they all promise the same thing, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
man,
Yeah.
money is not where
Yeah.
it needs to be right now. So I'm like, anything that's free is always good.
Yeah.
Not necessarily true, but anyway, Instagram, definitely go check her out. Hannah Tramonte Official.
Wait.
At Hannah Tramonte Official, I should say. It's right there. Yeah, perfect. Look at you pointing.
Yes.
I love this. This is like a TV interview where you're just
Yes.
like, right here. It's right here.
I'm still getting used to the
Name. Oh, I can't
inverted
even do it. Right
camera.
there. Yeah, there we go. Oh, there. So I love it. You are amazing.
Thank you.
I'm a fan. I'm a massive fan. I'm so glad that
Thanks.
we finally got to do this.
Yes, me too.
Thank you to everyone for watching. Let's not forget anybody. Blake, Adam, Brooke, Mom. Thank you all for tuning in and leaving comments. Everyone else that was watching and didn't leave a comment, thank you so much for tuning in. I do this for you. This is all for you guys. And again, next week we're gonna have another amazing artist. But Hannah, you're just I don't know. I don't even know what to say. I've said so much tonight about how great you are. I feel like people just need to go and check your music out. It is on Spotify. The 2 songs that we were talking about that I loved. There's also the project songs that we were talking about earlier as well. But if you really want to see into the future and you really want to see what Hannah's working on next, at Hannah Tramonte Official, for those who are Instagram, IG people, definitely go do that. All right. Well, thank you again, everyone, for watching. We're going to be back again next week with another amazing artist. Tomorrow, actually, I have another amazing artist because I'm moving next week. I'm moving house.
Oh.
Like, this is just too much happening in a short amount of time for me. So I'm squeezing in content to get everyone kind of to tide them over if I have to push this out, if internet people don't do their job and things like that. You know what I mean? But definitely look out for another amazing artist tomorrow night. You'll see the posting on my social media. Until then, everyone, please be safe. Go check out Hannah's amazing music, and we'll catch y'all soon.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
This is brought to you by Unscripted Productions. Thanks for being a part of the journey, and be sure to follow us for more info to get new episodes and more great content. And of course, rate this show on your favorite podcast listening platform and leave us a 5-star review. See you here next time.